Hello, Council Bluffs Area Chamber of Commerce members. This is Drew Kamp, President and CEO of the Council Bluffs Area Chamber of Commerce for our March 4th weekly legislative update video. This one should be a little bit shorter, and so I'll jump right in and touch on some of the key issues that we're watching right now in the state capitol. Port authorities is one that I've touched on quite a bit. It did move in the Senate this week, and we appreciate the work that Senator Dawson and Senator Schultz did specifically on that in helping push it forward, as well as Senator Cochler. They were all extremely helpful in getting that pushed through, and it can have some extreme benefits that would be beneficial for both our side and if Nebraska is able to adopt something similar on the Nebraska side on the riverfront. And we're thankful for them and their work in assisting us in getting it over the hump in the Senate. And now goes to the House, where we have some work to do on the bill, but we're fully ready to do so. A lot of the communities, border communities, as you can imagine, have a lot to gain from something like this, as does Des Moines water trails. So that's kind of a broad array of benefits that you can see from the bill, but we'll continue to work on it. The Iowa Chamber Alliance is highly engaged in it, and we know it would bring a good benefit, especially to some of our larger communities looking to do things on both sides of rivers or other regional improvement projects that would be of import for the locality, the county, or the region. So we're really excited to be able to continue to move forward with that, and we'll continue to update you as we go forward because the rest of session is going to move rather quickly. As you probably saw prior to her providing the rebuttal to the State of the Union on Tuesday, the governor signed the tax reform bill. It's one of the most historic, largest tax changes and reforms that they've done in state history. They'll have broad benefits with retirement income and with the flat tax getting transitioned to 3.9%. In future years, there's also some benefits for the ag community and farmers. There's also some changes on the corporate side to ratchet it down to 5.5%. And then there's some changes to tax credits, which obviously we're working through to figure out how we can best not necessarily weather those, but make sure we're accounting for those as we continue to utilize those products through Debbie and her team at the Iowa Economic Development Authority. So that's something we're really excited about. We do plan on making sure that we are showing that support and that we're really showing the benefits that it's going to have, especially as a border community. We think it's going to give us some competitive advantage with our friends across the river. So anytime we have that, we always want to make sure we're promoting it and sharing it as much as possible, as people definitely take note of that. And it makes us even more competitive to attract and retain the kinds of projects that we would love to see continue to happen here in our community. One thing that did not get included in the tax reform proposal that Senator Dawson was largely instrumental in pushing through the Senate, obviously, as the Ways and Means Chair, was some of the changes to IWIL and implementing that 3/8-cent sales tax increase to the water legacy and the Iowa Water and Land Legacy and the Natural Resource and Outdoor Recreation Trust Fund. There's some local option sales tax implications that obviously, rightfully so, our local governments and community leaders had some concerns with. We do know that Senator Dawson is going back and going to present a bill on those topics in the coming weeks, and we will watch for that, as we've always been supportive of funding the Iowa Water and Land Legacy and the 3/8-cent sales tax for IWIL. But obviously the devil's in the details, so we'll continue to work with both our partners, at City Hall, as well as Senator Dawson as he continues to move that forward to make sure that we have mutually beneficial conversations. And we look forward to seeing what he comes up with. And we really appreciate Senator Dawson's work and his leadership on these issues. We're very fortunate to have him in the position that he is in. With regards to the workforce bills, I really want to just kind of touch on, there are some changes to a code building one for like architects and engineers. That one will very likely get moved forward. It's more tricky and problematic with the one where they brought together the unemployment changes, the Med-Mal and the trucker tort reform. That's something that we know, especially like with the Med-Mal, is really the one that's of critical importance to us as a border community as we try to work with our healthcare providers and two of our largest employers in the region with Jenny Ed and CHI. But we want to make sure that we can hopefully try to get that bill pulled out and brought forth and passed through separately at the end of session, when everything it gets chaotic and you see what sticks. We're really hoping that if needed, they can pull out that Med-Mal piece and get that pushed through. It has the support it needs in the Senate. It's the House where it's really been kind of something that they've been working through and seeing what it needs to look like. But that's something we'll continue to advocate for going forward as we get towards the tail end of session and targeted adjournment dates here in the not too distant future. There was a bill with regards to sales tax exemptions for airports, for aircraft parts and maintenance that would be also make us more competitive with our bordering states. All the other border states around Iowa have it. Nebraska has it. So obviously, if we were able to do something to impact that and have these sales tax exemption for these aircraft parts and maintenance, the sales tax on those. That would be something that would make us even more competitive with our neighbors across the river. Once again, Senator Dawson, thankfully, has taken the bill on and is leading the charge on it. We appreciate, again, his leadership on that. We had a meeting out at the airport 2 weeks ago to bring him and other stakeholders together to discuss that and its importance. And there's also other airports, as you would imagine, in the overall airport community throughout the state who is supportive of the bill. So we're really looking forward to that, hopefully moving forward and providing us yet again another competitive advantage, this time in the aircraft and aerospace sector. So that's something we're excited about. And once again, we thank Senator Dawson for his leadership and assistance on that as well. With regard to adjournment, we're looking at the revenue estimating conference coming up on the 10th next week, and then the next funnel the week of the 18th. So 2 weeks from today, and that's when we'll see even more bills winnow down. But you may know that the budget targets have been released in the Senate and the House. There's every reason to believe that we've been made aware of that the numbers that they'll be working off of are the December revenue estimating conference numbers, because they'll be lower than the March revenue estimating conference numbers. So they need to use those for their budgeting purposes. So there really is a lot of steam in the Capitol to move these things forward and get out of there in a pretty timely manner. The one catch is obviously they do have per diems until the middle of April, but it's also right around the time of Easter. So that's something they'll run up along those kind of holidays and those considerations. So we do expect things to move very quickly here in the coming weeks at the Capitol, and everyone needs to be cognizant of that as they continue to have conversations about some of their priority pieces of legislation and just overall conversations and setting the tone, not only for this session, but future sessions, while also keeping in mind, obviously, that there are elections coming up this fall and that there has been some redistricting that has some implications as well. So with that, I will conclude our legislative update for this week. I always like to end these things by just saying thank you to everyone watching these, to our members, to anyone who really supports the Council Bluffs Area Chamber of Commerce broadly, or just specifically within the public policy apparatus. It's greatly appreciated. It means a lot, and it really allows us to make sure that we can provide the resources that you've come to know and expect from our organization. So I thank you, and I hope you have a nice rest of the day, and that we'll see you around soon at some other chamber function or event. Have a nice weekend.